Welcome back to the Theory of Motivation. I am Dr. Edge Butterfield, talking to you about content theories of motivation. This is our 8th video of the series, and if you have not watched the first introduction video, I strongly recommend you to do so, as it puts the whole subject of motivation into context. In our first video of this series on motivation, we introduced what is meant by motivation and the types of motivation theory. The remainder of this video series is split into two main groups of theory: process and content theories. In videos 2, 3 and 4, we introduced and explained three process motivational theories. In video 5, we described what is meant by the content theory of motivation, and followed this by explaining our first example of content theory, that of Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. In video 6, we explained McGregor's theory X and theory Y. And in video 7, we explained Alderfer's ERG theory. In this, our 8th video on motivation, I will explain McClelland's need theory. David Clarence McClelland was an American psychologist, noted for his work on motivation need theory. He is credited with developing achievement motivation theory, commonly referred to as need for achievement or N achievement theory. McClelland gave us one of the best researched models for workplace motivation, which is said to be pretty reliable at predicting job satisfaction. In his 1961 book, The Achieving Society, David McClelland presented and explained in detail his acquired needs theory. He proposed that an individual's specific needs are acquired over time and are shaped by one's life experiences. He described three types of motivational need: the need for power, the need for achievement, and the need for affiliation. A person's motivation and effectiveness in certain job functions are influenced by these three needs. Let's explore what they mean. What do we mean by power in this context? Power is the ability to induce or influence the behavior of others. McClelland discusses two types of power: personal and institutional. Those who need personal power want to direct others, and this need is often perceived as undesirable. Whereas people who need institutional power, also known as social power, want to organize the efforts of others to further the goals of the organization. Managers with a high need for institutional power tend to be seen as more effective than those with a high need for personal power. This may be because they often come over as outspoken, forceful, demanding, practical and realistic, not sentimental, and like to get involved in the conversations. McClelland found that some people have an intense desire to achieve. He identified the following characteristics of high achievers. High achievers take the moderate risks. That is, their calculated risk while performing the activities in the management context. This is opposite to the commonly held belief that high achievers take high risks. High achievers seek to obtain the immediate feedback for the work done by them, so as to know their progress towards the goal. Once the goal is set, high achievers put themselves completely into the job until it gets completed successfully. They will not be satisfied until they have given 100% in the task assigned to them. A person with high need for achievement accomplishes the task that is intrinsically satisfying and is not necessarily accompanied by the material rewards. Though they want to earn money, satisfaction in the accomplishment of the work itself gives them more pleasure than merely the cash reward. People with high need for affiliation derive pleasure from being loved by all tend to avoid the pain of being rejected. Since human beings are social animals, they like to interact and be with others, where they feel people accept them. They tend to perform well in customer service and client interaction situations. People with these needs like to maintain pleasant social relationships, enjoy the sense of intimacy, and like to help and console others at the time of trouble. Whilst McClelland believed that all people have each of these three factors to some degree, one is going to be the dominating motivator for each person. Through identifying which motivating factor is the dominant one for each person, you can tailor your approach specifically to give each of them what they need. By way of example, you're expanding your business into new areas and decide to fill three new roles. The first role is a new manager, the second a salesperson, and the third a person to work in a high-profile project team. Using McClelland's need theory, the way that you fill these positions could go like this. A manager in a new business area needs to be a person who is highly motivated and thrives in a competitive environment. A person who is motivated by institutional power is a keen candidate. A salesperson is normally one who is motivated by achieving goals. Therefore, a person who is motivated by achievement is a good candidate for such a role, so long as the person is not expected to work in a team. If it is a team role, then the person who prefers affiliation may be a more appropriate option. Project teams need to be able to work together and not to look for individual achievement or praise. It is a team outcome. A person who prefers affiliation as a motivator is a good candidate for such a role. It is important to understand that people are very complex, and as such, it is important to take into account more than just one model of predictive motivators. McClelland's needs theory is but one step in the process of selection. We have now reached the end of our explanation of McClelland's need theory. Thus far, in this second part of our video series, we have explained what content theory means. We introduced 5 content theories: Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, McGregor's theory X and theory Y, Alderfer's ERG theory, McClelland's need theory, and Hertzberg's two-factor theory. In video 5, we explained the first of the content theories, Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. We followed this in video 6 with McGregor's theory X and theory Y, and in video 7 we explained Alderfer's ERG theory of motivation. And in this 8th video, we have just explained McClelland's need theory of motivation. In video 9, the next video in this series, is the 5th content theory of motivation, Hertzberg's two-factor theory. It is now time for you to move on in our series and enjoy video 9.